You feel lost in life. You're sick of your job. Your relationships are mediocre at best. Your friendships are boring and empty. You feel dead inside, and you've lost the zest for life. Can you relate to any of these feelings or experiences? If you can, you might be going through an increasingly common experience known as the existential crisis. In other words, you're at a crossroads in life. You're feeling stuck and you're starting to crave a more meaningful existence. So what's the solution to this gnawing angst? Soul searching. To put it simply, soul searching is the quest to answer life's problems and questions. When most people refer to soul searching, they are talking about uncovering truth and happiness by questioning our thoughts, habits, and motivations. But soul searching also has a deeper meaning. At its core, soul searching is a return to the center of your being. Quite literally, it is a journey to find your soul or true nature. It is a spiritual path, and usually, it marks the beginning of the spiritual awakening journey. 19 signs you're a lost soul. The truth is that most people in society are lost souls. They don't know about, aren't interested in, and have never dipped into the vast waters of their true nature. Instead, they operate solely from the ego, the false self, that was constructed since childhood to defend against the overwhelming magnitude of life. If you're stuck in this limbo, you might experience the following symptoms. You feel constantly lethargic and fatigued. You have no motivation and feel restless. You feel alone. You feel unhappy with your life. You crave for something more. You've become the outsider or black sheep of the family. You're frequently irritable and moody. You're undergoing a midlife or quarter-life crisis. You're more prone to addictions. You struggle with self-loathing. You keep trying to numb the pain, but nothing works. You feel fundamentally broken. You struggle with existential depression and anxiety. You feel like something is missing within you. You're bored and dissatisfied with others and life. You feel stuck and stranded. You struggle with feeling empty inside. You don't know who you are anymore. You want to know what the point of everything is. Can you relate? If so, you're certainly not alone. How to do some soul searching. 1. Make friends with solitude. Solitude will be your greatest ally when it comes to soul searching. Be a lone wolf. How else can you listen to the whispers of your soul in a chaotic, noisy world? The answer is that it's extremely difficult unless you have undergone years of rigorous meditation training. So make regular time and space to spend with yourself away from others. No technology interruptions either. Think about dedicating 10 minutes to half an hour each day to an activity of your choice. You might choose something passive, such as meditation, or active, such as taking a stroll through the woods. Honor your level of energy and go with it. This is a simple but powerful way of learning how to find yourself. 2. Explore the nature of your ego. If your soul is your true nature, your ego is your false self. It's the mask you present to the world. Your ego is much like a cloud. It appears to have form, but it changes and morphs constantly. Question: have you ever noticed that you put on different roles with different people? Yep, that's your ego in action. It's not solid, and essentially, it's a misrepresentation of who you really are. Unfortunately, our ego genuinely believes it is who we really are. Because it's so convinced that it's real, it will reject any attempt to dismantle it because it perceives that as a death threat. And so, growth of any kind is extremely difficult because the ego is always trying to protect itself. As we can see, exploring the nature of your ego and learning to gently see through it is a crucial step in your soul-searching journey. In fact, it's the single biggest block to tasting and embodying who you really are. Some ways to explore your ego include journaling, writing down your thoughts, self-beliefs, habits, likes, hates, and so on. Self-inquiry, asking constantly, who am I? And seeing what changes, fades, or dies. Paradoxically, we discover who we are by seeing who we are not. Meditation, learning how to witness your thoughts and the stories constructed by the mind. These 3 simple practices can have a tremendous impact on your ability to see clearly and experience the truth of who you really are. 3. Reconnect with your child self. Write a letter to your inner child. Do an inner child visualization. Look at pictures of your inner child. Do something your inner child loved to do when you were little. Approach these activities gently. Make observations about your younger self. Did he smile more? Was she more in touch with emotions? Did she seem more curious and creative? Reflect on the you now and the you then. What qualities from your inner child can you integrate more into your life? 4. Reflect, introspect, and visualize. Close your eyes and breathe your way beneath your troubles. The way a diver slips to that depth of stillness that is always waiting beneath the churning of the waves. Now, consider 2 things you love doing, such as running, drawing, singing, bird watching, gardening, or reading. Meditate on what it is in each of these that makes you feel alive. Hold what they have in common before you, and breathing slowly, feel the spot of grace these dear things mirror within you. 5. Connect with nature and the wildness within you. Nature is tremendously healing and revivifying to the human soul. We often think of ourselves as separate from nature. We're human and above nature, after all, right? Wrong. We're an inseparable part of nature. Our blood, bones, hair, skin, and entrails are all stuff of the earth, animalistic, carnal, corporeal. Despite centuries of domestication, the human soul still retains its innate, fundamentally wild nature. We are not wild in the sense of uncontrollable or feral, but wild in the sense that the center of our being can't fully be tamed. It is essentially free. We are, at our core, all free spirits. We see this in moments of heroism, in the primal screams of childbirth, in the grunts of lovemaking, and the belly-deep laughs of mirth. To get in touch with our basic wildness, our inner wolf, is to unite with a fundamental quality of the soul. And that can easily be rediscovered in the domain of nature. It's not difficult or taxing to reconnect with nature. All it requires is just a couple of minutes a day outside, mindfully observing the trees, the animals, the clouds, and the sun rays beaming through the clouds. If you're lucky enough to live close to a natural reserve, you might like to practice the Japanese art of forest bathing or take a blanket and have a picnic. If you're in the city, there's still the opportunity to connect with nature. Go to the local park, listen to sounds of nature on your phone, buy a potted plant. When your heart is open, there are endless ways for nature to creep, dig, weave, and sprout its way into your life. 6. Ask some soul-searching questions. Questions are simple and direct ways of finding your personal truth, and living truthfully is living authentically. It is respecting the nature of your own soul. Some questions you might like to ask during your soul-searching journey might include the following. Who am I? What do I want in life? What is the meaning of life? What is my true purpose? What is authentic within me? What is inauthentic within me? What does happiness mean to me? What would truly fulfill me? Where is my ego an obstacle? What is a soul quality of mine? What legacy do I want to leave? These are only a few examples of soul-searching questions, so feel free to create and ask your own. Also, you might like to turn these questions into journaling prompts to regularly reflect on and answer. 7. Find your soul space and place. Each person is born with an unencumbered spot, free of expectation and regret, free of ambition and embarrassment, free of fear and worry. An umbilical spot of grace where we were each first touched by God. It is this spot of grace that issues peace. Psychologists call this spot the psyche, theologians call it the soul. Jung calls it the seat of the unconscious. Hindu masters call it Atman. Buddhists call it Dharma. Rilke calls it inwardness. Sufis call it Kalb. And Jesus calls it the center of our love. To know this spot of inwardness is to know who we are, not by surface markers of identity, not by where we work or what we wear or how we like to be addressed, but by feeling our place in relation to the infinite, and by inhabiting it. To soul search is to be fully human, to embark on the greatest journey that life offers us. The spiritual quest.